Hello, I am so sorry. I've literally been gone for, I honestly think it's been a year now, and I filmed this same video literally like 10 times. I filmed it so many times, and every time I film it I just feel like I don't know, there's like something missing, or I'm not liking how I'm coming across. So I'm gonna start from scratch, and I'm gonna just talk really raw and honest about how I feel and how I've been the past year. I think the past year has probably been like the hardest year since reverting for me. I feel like because this is the year that I started wearing the hijab is where I really started experiencing some real big changes in my life, to put it lightly. So obviously I started wearing it last September. So the last video that I filmed, I'd literally only been wearing it for like 3 weeks or something. Like I just started wearing it, so I didn't really know what to expect. And bear in mind, when I filmed that video, it was Christmas. It was September, not Christmas. What year was it? It was winter. That's all I remember. It was winter. And obviously wearing the hijab in winter is a little bit different to wearing it in summer, which I have now discovered. I am actually glad that I've decided to film this video like again, because since that last video I've had about 30 ups and downs of like debating in my head whether I'm going to take the hijab off. Obviously I'm not going to take it off, that's not an option, but you know, like in your head, well, it is an option, but you know what I mean, but you know, like in your head when you just keep going back and forth about it. So I'm glad that I've chosen now because I feel a bit more stable about it. So sorry if you see me looking down, it's because I've made notes, because I genuinely keep forgetting what I want to say. So the biggest ups and downs, I've been asked like by a few people how I found it since wearing the hijab. The biggest ups and downs for me so far have been trying to not feel like I have to be not myself. Like for some reason when I wear it, I have a bad habit of like being too shy, or like not being myself, or like not, because I don't feel like myself sometimes, or because I know that people are looking at me differently to how they used to look at me or like perceive me. So now I am more not careful with what I say, but like sometimes I don't say things that aren't even bad to say, but I just don't say them because I'm scared that I'm getting judged, if that makes sense. Which can be good to an extent. Like it is good to be careful of what you say around people, but sometimes I think I take it too far and then I end up like not saying anything. So yeah, I think I've had a real, not identity crisis, I wouldn't say, that's like a bit heavy, but I've had like a bit of it is a really weird feeling. Like I honestly feel like I have imposter syndrome sometimes. Like I'll look in the mirror, like just glance at myself and I'm like, who even is that? Like it's so weird to me to see myself with a hijab sometimes. I don't even know how to word it. It's just really strange, and it's been a really weird couple months, especially now that it's gotten hotter in the summer. I feel like there's been a few things that have really been a struggle. Like for example, for me, there are certain things that I love doing, like running or going to the gym, and because it's been hotter, because I'm maybe wearing more layers, or because I'm wearing long sleeves or whatever, I just feel like I'm getting a little bit more, I wouldn't say angry, but you know when you're like overheated and you get stressed, and sometimes you have to like take yourself back to the beginning and be like, no, let's just remind ourselves, why are we doing this? Why do we struggle for the sake of Allah? Like there's so many things that I think it makes you question. But if you don't go back and question, no, like why am I doing this? I feel like I was getting a little bit angry for all the wrong reasons. Like I don't know, it was almost like I was forgetting why I started wearing it in the first place, and I was just getting caught up in the anger and frustration of things. So that's definitely something that I've been trying to work on. And I've also been trying to work on being more confident to walk outside with it. Obviously this area that I live in, I've lived here like for like 10 years, which is like way before I reverted, and all my neighbours and stuff are, I'm sure they're open-minded and lovely, and I'm just overthinking it, but they knew me like for 10 years, so I just feel a bit uncomfortable sometimes to walk outside and be like, hi. And I know sometimes they probably are staring, but just because they're maybe confused or don't understand, because obviously the rest of my family isn't Muslim, and I do understand that it's not even like a big deal. Like people would stare no matter what, but sometimes it just makes you like, it just makes you feel a bit uncomfortable. Like, I went through a phase last year in winter where I would like only wear like oversized hoodies, and then I would just put the hood up instead of wearing my hijab. And now when I go for a walk, because it's like 30 degrees outside, I'm like, I want to wear my hoodie because I feel comfortable. But the reason I feel comfortable is because I know that no one's looking at me, because no one is seeing a Muslim woman, which is like rare around these areas. But I just need to stop caring so much, because these people genuinely couldn't care less about me. So I don't know why I'm putting a pause on things that I know are good for me for people who literally could not care less. And even if they could care less, what do I care? Genuinely. That's something that I've also had to like try and get over. I have a massive thing with like caring about other people's judgment, but like, why? Literally, it doesn't even matter. I don't know why I keep thinking about it. And I've put off so many things because I've been scared of how people are going to look at me and how people are going to judge me. So many things. Like, one of the big things that I've had a massive struggle with is my fashion recently, because before wearing the hijab, I think I was more into like streetwear, but then since wearing it, I don't know, I tried to do streetwear like with the hijab, and I don't know, it just didn't work for me. Like, I just didn't feel, I don't know, it just didn't feel comfortable. So I've had like a whole 360, my whole identity, like I've literally just turned around. So sometimes I just think to myself, like, what is going on? I don't even know. Sometimes I just get confused and I'm like, am I this person? I don't know. The hijab really does some things to you, and I know I'm not used to it yet, which is another reason I don't want to take it off, because it's like, it takes a long time to adjust, get like comfortable with it. So I don't want to take it off before I've even gotten a chance to give it a chance and get used to it. So yeah, I am still pushing, and at the minute I do actually feel happier that I'm wearing it, and I'm glad I didn't take it off in like a sudden rage of anger or whatever. But yeah, another thing I was talking to my friend about actually, and I feel like no one really talks about this, but when you wear the hijab, or this is just for me personally, like I'm sure a lot of people have different experiences, but I feel like you get so much less attention. I'm not even talking about male attention. I'm talking about like compliments from other women, like validation in general from like the whole of society. And like, I'm not saying I need that, I'm not saying I was feeding on that, obviously not, but like it obviously boosts your confidence for everybody. Everybody's gonna feel a bit more confident if everyone's saying like, oh wow, you look so good, your hair looks so nice, da, da, da. Whereas I think now I get less compliments. Obviously I still get compliments from my close friends and family, but like from strangers or from random people you get less compliments, I feel like, which is like something to get used to, because it can really take a hit on your self-esteem, but it shouldn't, obviously, which is like a massive learning curve for me. But it is really weird. But something that I've gotten to appreciate massively is that like sometimes, for example, when I go to the gym and I'll see maybe someone's making me feel a little bit uncomfortable. Maybe they're staring for too long, or maybe they're doing something creepy, you know, I'm not going to go into specifics. And I think to myself, I'm so grateful right now that I'm wearing hijab, because if I wasn't covered right now, I would feel so vulnerable and uncomfortable. There's so many situations where I've been so grateful. Even just saying salam to other Muslims, like they wouldn't even know I was Muslim before. So there are so many things that I'm grateful for that outweigh the bad things about it, which aren't even really bad things. They're just things I'm not accustomed to yet or not used to. But yeah, honestly, this was definitely the time for me to film it, because the past few weeks, and anyone who started wearing the hijab recently will probably know what I'm talking about, but there's like this weird feeling of feeling like you just, like, you're like in a bubble, like watching other people do things around you that you feel like you can't experience. I don't know how to explain it. Like, even when I see people running in the sun, and I still run like in the sun, even if I'm a tiny bit hotter, I just cope with it. But sometimes you can't help but like have those thoughts in your head of like, oh, my life would be so much better if I was doing these things, but obviously it wouldn't. Like, there was always things to complain about. It's literally a grass is always greener situation, because when I wasn't wearing the hijab, I would literally pray every day, like, please, I just want to start wearing the hijab, please make it easy for me. And then as soon as I start wearing it, I'm like, actually, take it back, I don't want to wear it anymore. So it's just one of those things that you have to try and see the good in it, because the grass really is always greener. And I think for me, I always thought like I was the only person who had these struggles, because I don't really see that many Muslims talk about their struggle with the hijab. So I thought I was the only person who was like struggling. And then I recently reached out to a close friend of mine, and they basically reassured me like, no, everyone goes through a struggle. And this person's been wearing it for years. So it did make me feel better to know that I'm not alone. But yeah, I think, yeah, there's definitely been a lot of moments of weakness, but overall I've been really happy with how my progressing has gone. If you guys have any tips for literally anything, like sportswear brands or how to stay cool in the summer, or literally any tips at all, they would be much appreciated, because I'm just having a bit of a, it's like I guess it's my first summer wearing the hijab, so like of course I'm gonna feel like this. I don't know why I put so much pressure on myself to be like perfect all the time, even though it's like my first time doing something. It's my first time wearing the hijab and in summer, so I'm just doing my best. That is literally all I can do. But yeah, also if you guys have any other video ideas you want to see, or if you want to pop questions for a Q&A, I would be more than happy to do them. I want to be more consistent now, because I really appreciate having like a community to talk to. It genuinely does make me feel so much better and less lonely. Sorry, I've had too much coffee today, so if you see me stutter, my mind is running 1,000 miles per hour right now, I swear. But yeah, if you guys have anything else, leave it in the comments. And yeah, have a nice day. Bye.